No More movement has exploded into nationwide protest. Protests and events are popping up across Canada in order to bring light to the First Nations issues and concerns with government legislation, including Bills C-45 and C-38. 1 Billion Rising is just one example.
1 Billion Rising is a campaign that's aimed at ending violence against women, and it was actually started by Eve Ensler a number of years ago, but it actually began through the Vagina Monologues, and it kind of grew into this worldwide huge campaign that calls upon action from all people to stand together and rise and end violence against women. 1 Billion Rising ties in perfectly with Idle No More because it's going after one of the same targets, which is, ending violence in our communities. And part of that is there's a huge campaign in Canada right now against the Indigenous murdered and missing women.
So you might ask yourself, what is the Idle No More movement, and what does it even mean?
It's a very huge, complex, organic movement. I think it's been there for a long time, but it started after December 4th when we watched our leadership shoved out of the doors of Parliament carrying the two-row wampum. The two-row wampum is one of the oldest treaties in Canada, and it was between the Iroquois and I think it was the British. But the canoes on that wampum signify that there would be Aboriginal sovereignty and European sovereignty.
Among the many concerns that the Idle No More movement tries to address are Bills C-38 and C-45. These bills contain changes to a large number of federal laws, many of which deal directly with the environment.
So there's a real difference between what the terms of the written treaty are and the oral understanding, and that's part of the problem. Bill C-45, it made changes to the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act 2012, the Navigable Waters Protection Act, the Fisheries Act, and the Indian Act.
Idle No More to me is a number of different issues. Number one, it's about democracy. It's about the democratic practice that exists in Canada, which is not existing anymore. Since the Conservative government has come into play, they've gone through a number of different measures to ensure that their ideas of policy and what's right for Canada is just steamrolled through, and you can see that now, especially with the majority government. And so it's about democracy for all Canadians. It's about safeguarding our environment and protecting it and ensuring that we actually have an environment to sustain upon in the generations to come.
For NUTV, I'm Kristen Dekruyf.